Is MRR a scam? Is MLM a scam? I get why people may ask that, and honestly, I've learned to not call anything a scam, especially if it's something that I just don't understand. Like, I would rather get the full knowledge of it before I put any type of label on it, because what's a scam to you may be a success story for another person. It just all depends on their perspective, their experience, how it's presented. So in this video, I'm gonna be breaking down the MRR model, Master Resell Rights, and talk about my real experience trying it out for a month. I'm also going to touch on MLMs and why they get a bad rap, and share why neither of these models are bad, but they aren't for me. They just did not align with how I want to personally build my businesses. So the word scam gets thrown around a lot these days and very fast. I've seen people call legit businesses and services scams just because, it didn't work for them. Like, for instance, Facebook ads. Facebook is a legitimate service, right? Facebook ads are basically when you use the Meta platform to promote your products and services to other people. When people try Facebook ads and they don't get a result, the first thing they say, oh, it's a scam, or oh, it don't work, right? But is it that it don't work, or you just don't have the proper skill set and the knowledge to apply to make it work for you? And so I use that example to show that when things don't work for people, sometimes they resort to calling it a scam. And then obviously for other reasons as well, because some of these models can have like scammy vibes to it, the way they're set up. And I'm gonna talk about that and go into that a little bit more. But I just want to use the example of Facebook ads as a legit service to show you how just because something is not working for you particularly and specifically does not mean that it's not a legitimate product, service, or business. Because even with like MLMs, which is multi-level marketing, some people swear by it and other people hate it. Like, it's one of those things, love-hate type of situation. And so let's get into the details and break it all down. So first of all, I've never tried an MLM because it was never in alignment for me. But does that make it a scam? No. Some people succeed in MLM, and if you love selling, if you love people, if you have the right kind of drive, it may even be a good fit for you, right? But the reality is that when it comes to MLMs, most people don't really make much money with MLM. The income potential sounds great, right? But most of the success is going to depend heavily on recruiting and building a team for most MLMs. And I think that's a completely different ball game than just, selling your own product, building your own brand. Huge difference between the two, okay? But I also want to touch on the difference between an MLM and then a pyramid scheme. So generally, MLMs, they are product focused. So you're selling something real, right? Think Mary Kay. Mary Kay has makeup products. And the way it works is direct sales. So if I'm a rep, then I'm selling products to someone else, and I may get 50% of that commission. I can recruit people, to join a team and all that stuff later, but the main business model and the main purpose is to, sell products and receive a commission off of it. So that is a legit MLM. On the other hand, a pyramid scheme, which is what gets correlated to the scam, is when you're recruiting people and the money that you're making is mostly coming from signing people up instead of a product or a service, so to speak. So I think that's the first red flag when it comes to a pyramid scheme or getting into something that you were promised one thing and it ended up being something totally different. That's why I think communication and management is so important. Properly communicating to people what they're getting, what's the expectation, so that people don't feel blindsided. And so I think a lot of people who do MLMs and all these things, they feel as if it's illegitimate or that it's a scam because of how it's presented to them. But I think if you are clear in your messaging and you let people know upfront what it is, people can respect that a lot more. But the thing is, there are a lot of people who lack integrity and character in those models, who make the models bad for the people who are actually doing it in a legit manner. And so I think as a consumer, even if you're somebody who's signed up with somebody, I think the responsibility is equally on you to do your due diligence to see, okay, what they're trying to sell me in, what is this about, and see if it's aligned with you, right? And so that way all the responsibility don't go on that other person because they sold you into something that wasn't in alignment with you. So you have to do your due diligence and equally be invested in any opportunity that is presented to you. So now what about MRR? MRR is Master Resell Rights. This is when you buy a course and the course gives you the right to resell it basically. So you keep 100% of the profit. I tried this out for about a month, y'all. I tried this out for about a month. The course itself was solid info. It was great information. I felt good about what was being taught. And since I aligned with the material, I thought, hey, like this is a low-hanging fruit to start reselling something, you know, that I believe in, something that has a pretty strong foundation, right? I've already been in marketing and the foundations and the concepts was pretty solid. But after doing it for about a month, I decided that it was not for me. I decided to step back, and the reasons why are two main reasons. Number one, customer experience matters to me so much, y'all. Like I care so deeply about how people experience my content, my offers. And in MRR, I just did not have total full control over that. Like since I wasn't the course creator, I couldn't change anything. I couldn't improve anything if I wanted to. And so that piece is so important to me. Owning the customer experience will forever be number one in my book, because at the end of the day, whenever you're servicing people, you want to make sure that they have the most aligned, the most smooth, the most stellar and awesome customer experience, because at the end of the day, that reflects back on you, that reflects back on your brand. And so the issue with MRR, you don't control that experience. Who controls that experience is the person who's created the course, right? And so even though a lot of different people are under them who are selling a course and bringing people in, they still control that experience. And so I would see, just, you know, observing, and I would see people who would sign up for the course, they would have issues or whatever, and then they would go to the people who signed them the course, but they didn't really have a direct line of connection to the person at the top who originated the course. And so for me, that was the biggest. I was like, nope, this is not alignment with me. I have to control this process from top to bottom, meaning every touch point, meaning like when you sign up and you were to purchase a course from me, then the email flows need to come from me. Any questions that you have that need answers need to come to my email so I can directly manage it, all of that, right? So that's when I determined, you know, it did not work for me. That was the number one reason, was the customer service experience. I, hands down, have to own that experience. That's what's important to me. Number two, impact matters. Impact matters so much to me. You know, I realized that I wanted to teach from my own frameworks. I wanted to shape the journey my audience went through. And with MRR, I just didn't feel like I had that sense of ownership or alignment. And I think that's what makes a course or a product so influential and so impactful, when you can create your own things, your own lingo, your own frameworks, your own speak, you know, how you communicate. Like that's what people most of the time are buying a product or service for. They want to vibe with you. Maybe they've already seen you show up in your content, maybe on YouTube, maybe on short form social, you know, media, whatever. And so when they sign up for something, they're not really looking to hear that thing through the voice of somebody else. They want to hear it directly from you, through your thought process and through your experiences. And so I think that this is my suggestion for someone who wants to build a brand long term. Like if you're somebody who wants to carve out a space, your own space in whatever industry you're in, I think the number one way to do that is to create a personal brand. Means that you own everything from top to bottom, the content you put out there, the systems you put together, your frameworks, all of that. And so MRR does not provide that. So that's the con that it doesn't provide. However, I'm someone already in this space who've already built a product-based business, and I've always desired to build my personal brand and things like that. So this is why that path made the most sense for me. However, if you're somebody who is starting out, maybe you're trying to get your feet wet with building something, if you never ever built something, then MRR could be for you, because everything is pretty much set up for you. You just have to do the work, which we're going to talk about later, because I think that's one of the misconceptions about MRR, which is why it get labeled a scam. People are bringing these people on and dropping them. They're not giving them the tools to sell, because at the end of the day, it's a product. You have to sell the product. And the way you build a business is through sales, through revenue. And if you're not doing that, just buying a course, is not going to automatically resell itself. We're going to get through that. But anyway, that was my number 2, was impact matters. And again, the way that you control impact is having 1,000% control over it. Like, you cannot create true impact through somebody else's, by way of somebody, like using somebody else's audience. Technically, you don't own whatever MRR course it is, right? And so yes, that course can provide impact by way of the information and the knowledge it's giving people, but you don't really have a solid hand in it because it's not yours. It's not your framework. It's not something that you've built with your brain, your God-given creative power, your talent. And so this is why I just think that for the majority of people who wants to build something and have it to be have longevity and be sustainable, I think it's just best to do it yourself. Because at the end of the day, don't get it twisted. You're going to still do the same work anyway when it comes to marketing, because again, when you buy a product, you have to market it. So if you're going to have to market the same, why not build an empire yourself? Right? When I started marketing, I was like, you know what? This is taking the same energy. This is taking the same effort. I might as well just go ahead and create the thing that has been on my vision board for a while. Because course creation, digital products, all those things have been on my vision board for years. I just didn't put the proper time to it at the time because I was building my product-based business. And so again, I thought MRR was just low-hanging fruit. Like, when I realized, okay, you got to build a whole separate business over here, I'm like, okay, now it's time to lace up my boots, put on my backpack. It's time to ride. It's time to create my own. Okay. So that's the realization that I had with MRR. And also another misconception I just want to say, just because you've built one business does not mean that your customers are going to transfer. When you start a new business, many times you're going to be starting from scratch. You're going to be starting from the ground up just like everybody else. And so I wanted to put that out there because sometimes there's a misconception that, oh, this person has this large audience here. Whatever they create, people are going to follow and buy that thing. May be true in a few rare cases, but not necessarily. You still have to build that thing from the ground up because they're two totally different audiences, two totally different target markets. So for instance, my product-based business is texture hair products. So now that I'm teaching purpose-driven creatives how to build in a digital space, that may not be in a total alignment with my product-based business. And so basically you have to start over from scratch. I don't want you to get it misconstrued that just because you have an audience here, it's going to be easier to build here. And then also on the flip side, this is why you hear about celebrities and people who have large followings. You know, they try to sell something and then it flops. Because the reason why this happens is because a large audience does not correlate to ready to buy audiences. You have to build that know, like, and trust factor. And just because someone may know you and like you because they follow you, doesn't necessarily mean that they trust you when it comes to you whipping out a product or service that you haven't built or primed that audience up in the right mind frame to be able to see you in that light. And so that's why you see celebrities or, you know, the people with the large followings, and then when they bring something out there, it don't sell. And you're like, dang, I thought they had all these people, they had this network of people in this audience that they should be able to sell 2 products, 3 products, but that's not always the case because they haven't built that platform with that in mind. That it's a total different ball game when you're building a platform and somebody is looking at you for entertainment and then you come out with something that doesn't resonate with their audience, right? That means that it's not going to result in a sale. And I'm not saying that that happens all the time. I'm just saying majority of the time to show you. I'm basically trying to paint the picture to show you a large audience does not correlate automatically to large sales. You have to meet people in the middle, build them up, show them why they should invest in whatever the thing is that you're selling. Because at the end of the day, people don't like to be sold to, y'all. People like to know that you're providing value, that it's a mutual beneficial exchange, and that what you have to offer, it's going to just benefit their lives. Like, they don't want to be seen as just a number that you're using to make a sale. Like, give the people value, right? So big audiences does not correlate to big sales. There has to be a balance in the middle. Now let's talk about affiliate marketing and MRR. because MRR isn't that different from affiliate marketing, and nobody calls affiliate marketing a scam, right? Affiliate marketing is basically when you're promoting somebody else's product or service and then you get a commission for it. MRR is the same thing pretty much technically, except for you get 100% commission on the product that you're selling. Affiliate marketing sometimes can range anywhere from 10% to 100% as well, just depending on what it is that you're promoting for another person. But the base model is the same. It operates on an affiliate format. If I have somebody who is well respected, let's say I've taken their course and I like their course, and then I put their link in my bio and say, oh, I've vetted this course, I like it, the information is good, sign up, right? And then I get 50% of that. How is that any different from someone selling MRR? Well, actually, technically it is different, because guess what? The person at the top of MRR is not getting anything. They're not getting they're getting 0% of your sales. They're not making any profit off of it, basically. So what you sell, you keep 100% of it. So in that light, it may be a little bit better because you're keeping that money, right? And so I just pointed that out and did the compare and contrast, because I think a lot of this stems from misconception, miseducation. Like, people just really aren't understanding the two. But affiliate marketing and MRR basically results in some percentage. So in affiliate marketing, you get a percentage of something you sell, and then the person who owns that thing, they get the rest of it. But then MRR, you sell a course and you get 100% of it. But also, I want to say the plus with affiliate marketing is that affiliate marketing, usually you're focused on a brand. So whether it's a product brand or a personal brand, so you tend to have a little bit more trust and to be more solid. Whereas MRR is focused on the creator at the top. Other people join, they're not joining as an MLM, so to speak. Or I don't know, you can interpret that piece however you want, because some people may see it as an MLM and some people may not. But basically, they are buying the course and just reselling it and keeping a profit. So why is one considered respected and the other one is seen as shady? I think it honestly just comes down to the messaging. The problem I see with MRR is often the promise, because usually the message is something like, buy this course, you can resell it, you can make a lot of money, and then people leave with income claims. But the reality of the fact is that just because you buy a course does not mean that it's just gonna sell itself. Selling takes marketing. You have to, in some cases, build a brand. You got to show up. You need to communicate the value. That's why some people do well with MRR and other people don't. The people who do well, they built their audiences, they built a presence, they're willing to market, they're willing to talk about the benefits of the course, right? But if you're not ready to put yourself out there, then it's not gonna work. Because at the end of the day, the best marketer wins, not always the best product. This is something that I've had to learn in business, y'all. The best marketer wins, not the best product. You can have the most excellent product out there. The product can be patented. It can be something that can transport you to the future. It can even pay your bills. Okay, that's a darn good product. Like, you probably like, where it said, I want to sign up now, right? But at the end of the day, if you got that product and you aren't marketing it, you aren't talking about it, you aren't speaking to the value that it has in people's lives, why do they need it, like what benefit it's going to have for them, then guess what? You're not going to sell any of them. They're just going to be sitting on your inventory shelves, and you're not going to move it. On the other hand, if you have somebody who is a great marketer, some people even have the gift of gab. Like, I don't think I'm one of those people who have the gift of gab, but the people who got the gift of gab, they got it when you're using it in the right way, okay? But you could be somebody who, like, or just who've learned market, like you've learned the proper process how to market, you're putting yourself out there, you're posting the why somebody's needed, how it's going to impact their life, how it's going to be beneficial for them. And guess what? You can have a mid or a mediocre product. It could be something that's just average. But guess what? It's getting exposure. It's getting visibility. Depending on how you promoting it, people may relate to you, like the person who is presenting it. And that's what's going to sell the product, right? Know, like, and trust. You've built up the brand and the product in a place where people say, okay, I know her, I like her, I trust her, so let me give this product a shot, right? And so that's the same thing with MRR. You have to, it's the exact same product, y'all, and that's what's the killer part about it. It's the exact same product, but Why do some people make it and some don't? It just simply comes down to marketing. This person over here has a heck of a marketing strategy and they're putting their stuff out there. This person over here is shy, hiding behind the windows and the doors, and they're afraid to put themselves out there for so many different reasons. Listen, I've been there. I can relate to all of that. And so guess what? They're not going to sell. And so that's why I think where the disservice is done is that when people sell MRR, a lot of these people lead with income claims that are not realistic. And I think that, so I'm gonna just say it like this, right? Everybody has different convictions. And I don't think income claims in themselves are inherently wrong. I think it just depends on the motive, the intention, how you lead with them. Because income claims can be good, right? It can show people that you've done the work, you've made the sales and things like that. But when you start using other people's income claims, or when you start making stuff up to get a sale and all that stuff, now you're crossing the line into questionable practices. And like I said, the reason why I'm saying this is because in any single industry, whenever the word scam is attached to it, is usually because a few bad apples have corrupted the system in some type of way and they did not follow by the rules. And so again, MRR itself is not a scam, but I think it's the way that some people promote it that makes it scammy. But if you get in it with the right heart, the right intention, the right conviction, then it could work for you. At the very least, you can try it and see that it didn't work for you, like me. Okay, so and another thing I've noticed is that MRR do get a lot of people who criticize it. Like I've noticed people who may be course creators who've built products from scratch themselves are sometimes be louder critics of MRR. And I get it, like they put their blood, sweat, tears into creating something original, and now people are out here reselling a ready-made course, and it may feel like a shortcut. But again, just because that model looks easier doesn't mean that it's a scam or that it's wrong. It's just different because at the end of the day, if you've built a product, you already know everything I just said to be true, that you still have to build your brand. You still have to market the product. And so I think that's why people who've been in this space for a while are slighted by the model, is because they've built something and now they see a lot of people coming in making a lot of money doing something that they probably feel should be something that they should be able to have just because they've built something. But again, just because you've built something, listen, I've learned a lot in this game, man. Life is not fair. I tell my kids all the time, they always tell what they say, that's not fair, that's not fair. And I'm like, baby girl, baby boy, when you continue to live, you're going to see that life is not fair. And so instead of knocking what somebody else is doing, you can do a few things. You can look at it and say, okay, they're doing this thing and it's working for me. Let me either try that thing and see if it works for me. And if it's not my thing, cool. I ain't gotta diss it. I ain't gotta take jabs at it. Let me focus on what I can do or take from what I see is working here and apply it to me where I own it, right? And so I think we just have to be very careful knocking somebody else's, I don't want to say hustle, but knocking what somebody else is doing, so to speak, because at the end of the day, if a person is doing something with integrity, and if they're doing it it's an integral way, and then it's ethically, sometimes morally maybe in question, right? But if it's not causing harm to people, then there's nothing wrong with it. Just because it doesn't work for you does not mean that it's wrong per se. And so like I said, I've learned so much in the business space, and my mindset and the way that I look at things is so different. And I'm just like, listen, let people do what they do and follow my own personal convictions. I think at the end of the day in business, you have to follow your conviction, what feels right to you. Pray about things, ask God to lead you to make the right decisions, to make the right choices for you, for your brand, and for all the things you got going on. And then you can't go wrong. Like what anybody else got going on won't affect you in no kind of way, because you're at peace with the thing that you're doing. So at the end of the day, here's the bottom line. MLM never was for me. MRR, I tried it and it's not for me. And it's not because I think either one of them is a scam. If done with integrity, what matters more than the model is whether it aligns with you. Again, follow your convictions. Do everything you do with integrity. Put yourself in the shoes of other people, right? And putting yourself in the shoes of other people is saying, if I present this offer to somebody else, would I want that same offer presented to me? Would I feel some type of way? Anything that you sell, you should be able to confidently feel good about it, and like, okay, if somebody presented this thing to me, I would feel good about it. That's what it comes down to. That'll solve 1,000% of the problems or questions you may have and allow you to go to sleep in peace at night. Is number one, putting good services and products out there. Selling is serving. Selling is serving. I always say selling is serving. If you have a great product or service, you're doing someone a disservice by not presenting it to them, right? But again, follow your convictions and make sure that you have solid business models, solid business practices when you're going out into the marketplace. Because even for me, like my reputation, my character, how I show up, all of those things are super important for me. Which is again why MRR didn't work for me, because I need full control over my entire customer experience, my entire customer journey. I need to know that she's getting tip top A1 stellar experience, and can't nobody control that but me. And so that's why, like I said, MRR is something that is not in alignment with me, with my spirit, with my business model. And then also, sometimes the only way to know if something truly works for you, or if it's for you, is to try it. Just try it. That's what I did. I could not believe I tried it, but I tried it. I gave it a fair shot. And now I know what doesn't work for me. So get out there, try the thing, create your own way, chart your own path, pave, whatever you got going on, try something. And if it don't work, pivot. Optimize, create it so that it works for you, and that it's something that you are proud of, and something that's going to be sustainable for you, something that you can do from here forevermore until God calls you home. That's what it's all about, is building something you're proud of and building something that can serve and impact other people. So do I think MRR is a scam? No, but I do believe that a lot of people misunderstand it. Same with MLM, same with affiliate marketing. Just because something does not work for you does not mean that it's not legit. Right? It just may not be aligned. And so I would love to know your thoughts and your perspectives. Drop a comment. Let me know what you thought from my take in this video. Let me know if you agree. Let me know if you disagree. Let me know your perspective. What do you feel about MLM? What do you feel about MRR? What do you feel about affiliate marketing? Are you doing any of these things? Are you considering any of these things? What are your reservations? Yeah, all the things. And so this was a really great conversation. And at the end of the day, y'all, just go out there. Like I said, do great work. Take the leap of faith. Put yourself out there. Serve the people, man. When you serve people, it's going to come back to you 1,000,000 times fold. So create the thing, launch the thing, build the thing, do all the things to the thing. Just do the thing, okay? Keep the faith. Bet on you, because God already did.